Goedemorgen, top diddly geika. And if you don't speak Dutch, that's okay because I don't either. What I was trying to say is thank you for watching. Where are we? So yes, KZ1000, Z1R. Part 2. Part 2, strip down the engine, find some more items that are going to make me waste more of my money. But that's okay. Yeah, there's come to some tearing down the engine is an unhappy episode for me because I was really hoping that it would have been in better shape. But let's see what we find when we tear apart the engine. This is the first time I've taken apart a KZ1000 engine completely, and I do screw up a couple of things. And I do try to show when I screw up because I think it's, just try to be honest about it. So sit back and relax and laugh as you find the disastrous mess inside the engine that I find. Thanks. Try to save my back. Jack this thing up. Got this lift from jegs.com, and it showed up and the pump had been put together incorrectly, and it leaked oil all over the inside of the box, and the pump was no good. They didn't give me any crap, they just sent me a new pump, so that was pretty cool. I mean, it'd be good if it just was fine to begin with. So I'm trying to lift it up enough to get onto my stainless steel table over there. That's in the right ballpark. Alright. It just fall off of here. Well, okay, here we are with the engine, the KZ1000 Z1R engine. I'm going to start stripping off the top end. Curious to see what it looks like. Start with the valve cover. Pretty sure this is not the original valve cover. Because it does not have the EGR ports on it, which I'm pretty sure came in '77. Rust on the cams. Right. Let's see, so let's take out the cam chain tensioner, which appears to be in backwards. get this runner off of here. Yeah, that's nice. Good thing I'm not putting this together. Some kind of shim, which just dropped down the engine. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm looking at this thing and I see a generic gasket kit, which doesn't look that old. Okay, so what's next? Should I read the instructions? I probably should. Okay, so I need to take these caps off. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're labeled. One, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Bearings. Some wear. I'm no expert looking at that. Doesn't look that bad to me though. There's a good amount of wear on that one. You can see it, I think. Can't feel it. Same on this one. Should probably label this, huh? Let's see, this has LR, so that's the left hand side, right hand side, and I know that this is the exhaust because it has the tachometer drive. So that should be easy enough to tell. Some rust on here, surface rust sitting around. Probably will clean up. But seeing as this is a Z1R, I mean, I might get new cams. Not sure yet. Let's put this to the side. Yeah, I mean, this one's pretty beat up. Probably original. I mean, who's going to replace the bearings if it's not making bearing noises? Piece of wire on here. Doesn't really matter because I'm taking the thing all apart. I don't see any extensive damage yet. So let's see, that was 4. Okay, let's figure out what's next. I think that we just take the head off. So I think what I'll do next is get rid of those intake boots. You can see them kind of beat up. It's funny, these say made in Japan. They may be the originals, and they're very pliable. They're not all hard. Right. Do that 3 more times. Alright, so I'm going to take these head bolts out. Yeah, again, this thing was just kind of stuck together, so it would look like a complete Z1R. Okay, let's see, whoops. Oh yeah, there's a nice valve. Rusted to shit. Leaking. I may end up sending this one out to a pro. I think it may need a little more work than I know how to do, like a proper valve job. Maybe some new valves. All right. Well, doesn't that look lovely? Look at that rust. So it's all pitted. So yeah, this sat for a long time. Someone freed it up so that they could say that, oh, the engine turns over. Yeah. A lot of crap in there. Okay, no big deal. I think I showed it before. There's a couple of broken fins, kind of minor. This one here and right there. And I did get a new cylinder. Well, not a new one, but a used cylinder with no broken fins. The fins are really part of the look of it. Alright, so let's take the cylinder off. Oh, wow. You see it? Big rust ridge right there where it's sat. And I don't know if you can see it, but I can physically feel a huge gouge right in there. Yep. Rust. Could certainly be bore. Look how thick these walls are. It's probably standard. I don't know who would let a Z1R sit around like this, but they did. Yeah. Look at that. I don't know if it's focusing. You can see the weights on the crank. It's all rusty. It sucks. We'll get the pistons out of the way. I had to struggle with that a little bit. But I got the pin out, the clip. Piston says ART, standard, so it's standard bore. But ART, I wonder what that is. So I just took the points plate off, which is not points, electronic ignition, pretty flimsy, crappy one. And I've bought a replacement flimsy, crappy one. The ignition advance is completely frozen, doesn't move at all. I don't know if that's because it's seized or because with this particular electronic ignition they don't use it. Like maybe the electronic ignition is keeping track of how fast it's going and it advances the timing on its own. I think that's what's going on. It's like this spacer here, which is the indicator usually for when to fire. It goes all the way in here and it seems to be keeping the advancer from moving. Let's see if I can show you. I don't know if that's the greatest light, but these little things, these wings are supposed to move and they don't move because this black thing goes all the way in. Anyway, I gotta take that off and then take off this cover. Somebody didn't have a 19mm. Went ahead and used some vice grips. Okay, is that all one piece? Can't tell if that's all one piece. moving or just stripping? It just seems like it's stripping. Let me get that off of there. This should be easy. Air gun. There's a bolt on the other side where the magneto is, and I'm trying to keep the magneto from moving. How about a breaker bar? Breaker bar? What am I doing wrong? Is it reverse threaded? Seems like welded on there. Piece of crap. Well, I suspect either I or someone else broke off this pin here. I don't know if you can see it. Pretty sure there's supposed to be a locating pin there. And you set, yeah, right there. So that would set into the position there. So that'll have to be fixed. I don't think it matters. The crank is going to have to come out, probably go to a pro. All that rust. Not sure what I'm going to do with this thing. Okay, let's take the clutch off. Cover. Ooh, okay, hand tight. Yep. Like everything else. Hand tight. Okay, I don't need this. Usually you need that. Okay. Nice looking gasket. Okay, these have to come out. Let's see. These are pretty nasty. Pretty much rust seized. A lot of material on the clutch, but a lot of rust. So, ooh. I'm sure I will be replacing all of it. bring you back. Okay, so there's a pusher assembly here. Basically a needle bearing inside two washers, and then this thing, whatever you call that, and there's supposed to be a little metal ball in here. Hey, it's there. All right, great. Now we're supposed to have a special tool to hold this, which of course I don't have. But let's just try to bang it off. I mean, is this loose? No. Just try it. See what happens here. What should I do? So, as I'm playing around with this, trying to figure out how I can secure this without the special tool, I go, you know, I haven't shifted it through the gears to see if they all go in and work. And I can get it into first gear. So I'm going to with my left hand, I'm holding the sprocket. And it goes into first gear. It's like that is forward. Okay, back into neutral. And I have the, I'll bring the camera over, but I have the oil pan off so I can look right into the transmission and the shifter forks. And then when I try to put it in second, it just doesn't budge at all. So I wonder, what I had heard this about KZ1000s, that if they get dropped a certain way, or there's something that could break inside them that will keep it from shifting into second. And it just won't budge. Now, something could be frozen. But this might explain why everything's loose and the oil pan was off. Maybe someone was trying to figure this out and said, you know what, I can't figure this out, so what the hell. Can you see any of this? So let's see, can I get the light at the right place? So you can see this is neutral, and then if I shift it into first, oops, this one came down. Okay, and that locks two gears together, although I'm not sure which ones they are. And then if we go back into neutral, right, and go here, and then I don't know how it's supposed to go into second. Is it this one? Maybe I should play with it a little bit. So anyway, that's what I'm playing with right now. I wonder if this was the failure that caused someone to give up on it. So I'm going to take, this is called the shifter mechanism is under here. This is the externally accessible part. There's a little cover for it. This is the clutch push rod. So these bolts are not hand tight like everything else. So I'm going to take these out and check what's going on in there. Maybe someone took it apart and put it back together incorrectly. Don't know. Check it out. Alright, so I'll bring it back. Alright, so I got the bolts out. Did not want to snap anything. Do I have have all the bolts out. There's one hidden under junk. I think I have all the bolts out. You can't put a lot of pressure on this stuff. Sounds like it changed tempo. There we go. There you go. There's something in here. If you take it out, you have to split the cases. Or no, it falls down into the, whatever it is falls down into the pan. But I would guess it's this one. You guys can't see what I'm talking about. Everything's a lovely flavor of rust. This bearing will be easy to find. So I'm going to play with this a little bit and see if I can figure out anything, which I highly doubt, but we'll see. Well, no amount of fooling with that gear shifter mechanism allowed me to go into second gear. I put it in first gear. I'm just going to go ahead and take the clutch basket out of it, proceed along the course of splitting the case. I don't know if it's rust seized in there or something, or something's bent or what, but I couldn't tell from just looking under there. So I'm going to hold this by putting a nut, the sprocket nut on. And I have to turn air on. Air tools work better with air. Okay, there's that. Now, can I get this one back off? Let's see. Yes. Good. Does this just come out of there? I don't think it can just come out of there because there's a gear in the back. You can see there's a gear in the back and it goes into the case, and that's where it's contacting the crank. So I don't think that just comes out of there. But I have instructions. Boy, that's crappy. I have instructions, so I will go look at these instructions. Alright, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 case bolts here. Don't want to snap these off. Okay. Alright. That did not feel good for a second there. No, it's okay. All right. These bolts, of course, would not have come out ever unless the cases have been split, which on a bike that is 44 years old very well could have been. I'm going to use up my supply of plastic nut containers. Okay. Instruction manual, what is next? Note, I'm trying to take a video here. Note the position of these little bolts. Need a flashlight. So it's 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That has a clamp. 7, 8, 9. That has a clamp. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. So I got to take those 17 bolts out, and I have to take these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 larger bolts out. Well, I had one of the big ones break off. I was trying to be really careful with it, slowly moving it back and forth, and just wasn't having it. So I lost one of those. I think these ones have to be, or it's recommended you replace these. Okay, those are the big ones.
17 little ones.
Red RTV. So I just found some red RTV came out. So it's more than likely this case has been apart before. I don't think Honda, Kawasaki is using red RTV. Okay, that's all the bolts. What's next? Well, the manual makes it sound simple. There's 2 holes, one on each side, that are threaded, and you're supposed to thread an engine bolt in there. Of course, it's got 40 years of grime in it, and use that as a means to jack the lower case up. That one does not want to start. Why don't you want to start? Okay. Threads kind of beat on.
broken one. Let's try a different bolt. Well, who knows, maybe one will be enough if we can get it in there. That immediately started to strip. Is this the right bolt? There we go. Oh, okay. There we go. Let's come up. Good. Looks like there's a hole back here that you can thread a bolt into. I want to do that. Let's see if it just works. I do want to do that. It's a mess. I don't want to do that. Mostly free. There we go. Okay. Dowel. Dowel was stuck. Note to self, don't reuse those bolts. Okay. Not sure where I left off on the last video, but I was struggling with the transmission. Couldn't get it to shift from neutral up to second. So the shift pattern is pretty standard. One down, then you click up to go neutral, click up second, click up third, fourth, fifth, and then you click down to go back down. Anyway, so I couldn't get it to come from neutral into second. And what I found was, looking online, and it probably says in the manual I have, there's a there's a mechanism that when you come to a full stop, and say you've downshifted all the way to first, you click all the way up, and that brings you to neutral. As we're on a lot like a dirt bike, if you're in first, you click all the way up, you'll probably go into second. Yeah, kind of have to do a half click to get into neutral. So it's a feature, and there's a feature in the transmission that prevents it from going into second gear when you're at a full stop. So the sprocket has to be spinning in order for you to go into second. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is first gear here, and right now it's in neutral. First gear will go over. That puts it in first. So this is being driven from the flywheel, or the clutch housing rather. And then over here, this is being driven from the clutch housing. So it's first gear pushes over, goes into first. Then you bring back over to go to neutral. It's in neutral right now. Then this one will shift over to go into second. And then when you put it in third, this one comes back out and goes over and contacts this one to go into third. And then fourth is up here. Fourth is this one in the center. You probably can't see very well. Goes left and engages with this one, which makes it fourth. And then this one goes over and contacts this one, which goes into fifth. So I thought it would be interesting if I could try to show it. You can see here, if you watch what happens. So right now it's actually in second. So if I put it in neutral, you watch this one here. Okay, that's neutral. So if I go all the way down, if this one comes all the way down, it pushes the gear over. That becomes first gear. All right, so that's first. Whoops. Let's see if I bring it back over. That's neutral again. Okay, now I'm trying to go into second, and I'm prevented. So this gear here, inside it has 3 little ball bearings. Centrifugal force will make the ball bearings shoot out. But at rest, the ball bearings are in a groove that's inside the sprocket drive shaft. And it prevents this gear from going to the right, which prevents this arm from moving, which therefore keeps this arm from moving. So if I put it back in first, let's see if I can run it through the gears. So there's first. Try it again here. First, neutral. Second, back to neutral. First, okay. If I don't spin it, then neutral, then it's locked again. Spin it. Second, third, fourth, fifth, fourth, third, second, neutral, first. So when you take the transmission gears out of the housing, if you leave it in second, then you'll be able to get all the gears off of this shaft, so it'll be clean. You can see there's some rust in there. So that's it. Well, you win some and you lose some. And I don't know whether you can see it here. Let's see. Try to get it to focus. Can you see that? Yep. So this is where the the crankshaft sits. It spins on these roller bearings. Not roller, they're needle bearings. You can see the needles under there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And unfortunately, they're kept in place with these little dowels. One of them came out very easily. I wiped off the oil. You can see this is cracked all around. Down into there. So that totally sucks. Why does that suck? Because this is a Z1R block. stamping, KZ1000DE makes it a Z1R upper case half. The lower case is any KZ1000, but this is specific and this is garbage. Probably not. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it's like somebody rebuilt it. Would that have even caused a problem? I don't know. It's all intact. It's not like you would have known about that when it was running. I don't think the bearing would have been moving or anything. It's all clamped down. But I don't know. I don't even know if I have no idea whether that's fixable. Well, that sucks.
Well, thank you for watching part 2 of the Z1R restoration. Boy, that engine is pretty bad. I guess it could have been worse. The valve train, operated. The head is salvageable. Cylinder is garbage, and the big bad news is, of course, the case. Since then, I did find one of my local machine shops in the kind of city that I'm located next to. They were willing to take a stab at fixing it. So it sat over there for 2 months, and they didn't get around to doing anything with it. I think eventually they would have, and probably would have fixed it. They've been there a long time. They're not really an engine repair shop. They're more like kind of make specialized stuff for industry. It's not like an automotive place. And it's too bad because I believe that is the original engine for that bike. The bike serial number is like 19 something, and the engine serial number is like 2048. So they're pretty close. It probably is the original engine. I'll hold on to the case, but for now I'm going to move forward with something else. I can show that.
So I managed to get this from the same person I bought the Z1R from. They got this from some place in, I think, Carolina, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. And it is a, can you read it? KZ1000DE, which means this is a Z1R block. 6491. So it won't be the original block for the bike, but it is a Z1R block. There's, to my understanding, there's no difference between this block from this is like this 1978 block and another 1977 or 78 block. The only difference is that this one is painted black, and it has the D series number on it. That's what I understand. So I just got this yesterday, and I'll be tearing that apart and seeing whether this one is salvageable. Hopefully it is. But that will be in another episode. Vapor Honer, that's a new addition to the shop. And along with that, I got a brand new air compressor that has enough CFM to drive the Vapor Honer. Vapor Honer evaluation so far on some parts that I've done in it. It's neat to have something that pushes water. It gets things really clean, but as far as digging out corrosion, it takes a long time. I think I think these lights are maybe whiting out. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, this one was all corroded. Had corrosion all over it. And I mean, it looks clean, but still, if you wanted that to shine, there's also damage on it from where it's been dropped probably. I mean, you gotta sand it out. Anyway, okay, so I think that's good enough for now.
Yes, well, thank you for watching part 2, and I think part 3 will come up faster. I have a lot of footage cleaning up the forks and the wheels, trying to get the elements to make it back into a roller. So those should be coming up pretty soon, and thank you for watching.